Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fantasy Table, brought to you by the Blue Stable. I am your host, Luke Verkamp, and I am back. I'm finally back. I had that week hiatus, had some family things that I had to deal with, but thank you to Theo and Connor for running the show while I was out. Unfortunately, Theo cannot make it tonight. If you follow him on Twitter, you know that he helps. Well, he's part of the Minnesota media, and so he's got a game tonight that he has to be at. So unfortunately, he was not able to record with us. So it's a solo show for me today, and I'm probably going to make it pretty quick because the only game that I got to watch was the Colts game. And even then, my NBC service cut off after Matt Ryan's third interception, which I wasn't mad at because at that point I was kind of done watching it. So I didn't really get to watch any football. I don't really know everything that's going on. I just saw some of the news and notes that I'm going to talk about here today, but that's about it. So I don't want to be going too in depth because I don't even know the full extent of everything. But we'll just get started right away. Um, Jimmy Garoppolo has a broken foot and he is deemed out probably the rest of the season. Potentially, he could make a playoff return, real life NFL playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs. So no real fantasy impact for us. If you have him on your season to season rosters, you might as well just drop him. There's no reason to hold on to him. Matt Stafford has a spinal cord contusion. So I don't know if this is also with like the concussion stuff that he has going on. But either way, I think they'll probably just shut him down the rest of the year. There's really no reason to put him back out there. Now, we will talk about their quarterback situation here in just a second. The Lions have officially activated Jameson Williams. He's slowly going to be brought into this offense, slowly get more involved. But Amon Ra has been on fire these past few weeks, and I think that's probably still going to continue. But Jameson is still an exciting and interesting player to keep your eye on. If he is out there on waivers, he is a high upside guy for the playoffs um, that you may want to take your shot on. Elijah Mitchell is back on the injured reserve. Now, this is unfortunate because they're actually doing pretty good on splitting him and Christian McCaffrey. Um, and he was still a flex worthy player. But now, hopefully, once again, it's going to all go for Christian McCaffrey. Hopefully, he gets all that workload once again. Though I do know there's a storyline that came out that Jimmy Garoppolo mentioned Jordan Mason will probably get more work. So I know he got some work this past week. I didn't look at all. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head or anything, but I do know he got more work. Joe Mixon is deemed close to passing concussion protocol. Nothing official yet because I'm recording this on Wednesday evening, but they said early in the week practices they do believe he will pass the test. But if he does not, it'll be another week of Samaje Perine, and he has done very good while Mixon is out. Traylon Burks has went into the concussion protocol. He caught a long touchdown in Sunday's game, and on that play, he got hit in the head and was out the rest of the game and now into protocol. So most likely, don't count on him to be playing this week, but next week maybe he'll be back. Before we move on to our next segment, let me tell you a little bit more about our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy platform where it's just you versus the projections. You can pick more or less on many player projections that they have on any sport you watch. This includes like receiving yards, passing yards, rushing yards on like wide receivers, quarterbacks, and running backs, respectively. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 5 players, and you can win up to 10 times your entry. And that's not all. If you are a new sign on, you can receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 by using code Blue Stable. So if you deposit $10, they'll give you $10, which makes it $20. If you deposit $50, they'll also give you $50, making it $100. And if you do $100 to the max, they'll also give you $100, giving you $200. Download Prize Picks today and play daily fantasy sports with us. make sure to use code BLUESTABLE, BLUESTABLE, when you sign up. The link is down in the description below if you want to download today. Kenneth Walker has a jammed ankle, so I don't really know what that means. I just saw that it said jammed ankle because it wasn't a typical like ankle sprain or anything like that. DJ Dallas, I saw his backup. DJ Dallas had like an ankle sprain type injury. So if Kenneth Walker doesn't go and DJ Dallas doesn't go, then this backfield's not really one that you want to play. But if you are playing him, Travis Homer would be the receiving down back, and Tony Jones would probably be the early down running back. Either way, you got to hope for a touchdown if you're playing either of those guys. Otherwise, you're probably getting a very low floor guy. DJ Dallas, same thing. If he does play, you're hoping for a touchdown. If he doesn't, you're probably not getting more than around 5 points. I don't really love the situation whenever Kenneth Walker is out, so try to stay away if you can. Baker Mayfield was waived by the Panthers and claimed by the Rams. I think this is a big thing just for the fact they didn't want the 49ers to get Baker. If they did, that's the ultimate like petty move because Rams are out of it. There's really no reason to try to block the 49ers from getting to the playoffs or making a push, but maybe there's some other discussions being had with Matthew Stafford. I know I saw some people throwing around retirement. I don't believe that would be the case just yet, but it's not out of the realm of possibility because I know there's been a lot of talk over the past couple of seasons on Sean McVay potentially retiring, Aaron Donald retiring soon. Cooper Kupp's getting older. I don't think he would retire yet, but this Rams team doesn't have a lot of picks for the future. Their team is a bit of a jumbled mess right now, and it wouldn't surprise me if they have to do like a hard reset soon. And it could potentially be as early as next year. Like McVay could retire, Donald could retire, and maybe Stafford would retire with them. Who knows? But either way, it is pretty interesting. I don't think Baker would be the long-term answer either. They probably just grab him, see what they can get out of him, and that's about it. Mike White is still going to be a starting quarterback for the Jets in Week 14. This is great for the Jets wide receivers, especially Garrett Wilson. He's a start as long as anybody but Zach Wilson is starting. The Cowboys believe that Odell Beckham Jr.'s ACL has not progressed enough, and he probably won't be able to play until January. This is pretty big because I know a lot of people have been like adding on Odell to their roster and then dropping him, adding him on, dropping him, just on the hope that he signs somewhere and that he's back for like the fantasy playoff push. If he's not going to be back till January, don't hold on to him. I don't like at this point. I don't want him on any of my rosters, just because even if he does come back on week 17, that's a championship week. And do you really want to play someone their first week back from an ACL? Because I don't. So if you have Odell on your roster, I would drop him. I wouldn't feel comfortable playing him. The Seahawks also signed Wayne Gallman to their practice squad. This is definitely depth at the running back position. If DJ Dallas doesn't go, I'm sure we'll see Gallman get brought up from the practice squad. And if he does play, they'll probably just stick with the three that they got now. Bye weeks. This is a big bye weeks week, playoff push time. So make sure, I hope you got good depth, and I hope you got a playoff spot already, because if not, and you got a lot of these players, that's just very bad luck. But the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, the Colts, the Saints, and the Commanders are all on bye this week, which I know they're not all great teams, but there's still a lot of fantasy relevant players on those teams. And that's a lot of production that is going to be missing. I know I asked Theo to do the waiver wire pickups on Twitter this week because I didn't get to watch any football, so I didn't really know who to recommend. And we both were kind of discussing it, and it just was atrocious this week. Like there was no like home run pickups. There wasn't a Garrett Wilson early in the season. There wasn't a Christian Watson. There wasn't a Jameson Williams. There wasn't, well, I guess Jameson Williams technically probably still is, but there was no like Kenneth Walker or guys like that. There's it's just a pretty big mess. Also, I didn't mention with the Rams, but with the Rams, honestly, I don't know if there's anybody that I would want to start on the Rams right now other than probably Cam Akers, which is weird to say. Like, Cam Akers went from a guy that people were drafting early because of the hype that drastically disappointed at the early part of the season, who now could be a league winner just because he's getting the opportunity because quarterbacks are down, Darrell Henderson's gone. He has Kyron Williams, the rookie, um, as his only battle right now, running back battle. But I mean, competition, I should say. But yeah, I mean, he's got the opportunity. He's got a great fantasy playoff schedule. So if you have Cam Akers, or if he potentially is still out there, I'd be going to get him because people, or if there's, well, I'm sure trade deadlines are already over, but if you can get him, get him. And if you do have him, awesome, because he has a great playoff schedule, and I think they're going to be using him a lot. I don't think I can count on a 2 touchdown week from him every week because the Rams really aren't that great. But either way, I still think that he's going to be a pretty solid option. But anyway, guys, that's all I had for you today. I'm sorry it's a very short one, not the usual hour long that me and Theo go through, but I just wanted to make sure we got a video out to you guys with the news and notes. But like I said again, I didn't get to watch any football, and I did not want to steer you guys in any wrong directions. So I just wanted to go through the news and notes. Until next week, hopefully we'll be all good to go. I know Theo has finals this week as well, so hopefully that'll all be done by next week, and we'll be able to be good for the rest of the season. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good day, good night, good morning, whenever it is you're watching this, and goodbye.